In a world where stress and uncertainty often dominate our lives, finding inner peace and healing can be a challenge. The Silva Method, developed by José Silva in the 1960s, offers a path to harness the power of our mind for healing and personal growth. Meet Mark, a devoted Silva Method practitioner who faced a major life challenge. Mark shares his life before the surgery, his struggles, and how he discovered the Silva Method. The day of the surgery arrived, a day filled with anxiety and hope.
I'm Mark Robinson, and I'm 57 years old. December 9th, 22, the year 22, I had a stroke in Cincinnati, Ohio. I live 2 hours away from Cincinnati, Ohio. My youngest son is a drummer in a band, so he was performing in Ohio, in Cincinnati, on December 9th. That's why I ended up there. Now I say that because I had a stroke that night, and if the area I'm from, if you're gonna have brain surgery, which my stroke required, I had an aneurysm that leaked slowly in my brain, forming a blood clot the size of a baseball. When it got so big, I had a stroke, and that was it. So the surgeon had to take this part of my skull off to do the surgery, take care of the brain clot, and remove any brain material that was damaged. So I was told that I died that night, and I was on a breathing machine and a feeding tube for 10 days. My wife, Amy, was there, and she witnessed the whole thing. I don't remember much. I remember waking up in the hotel, and I was dizzy. And I couldn't understand why. She thought I was having a stroke. Of course, we're married for 25 years at that point. I told her, no, you're wrong. I'm not having a stroke. I'm fit. I have a nice diet. I eat well. There's no way I'm having a stroke. But I had a genetic defect, the aneurysm. So I couldn't get around that. My surgeon told me that I'm a miracle, and while I was under his care, I kept trying to fall into a coma, so it all worked out, I guess. When I passed, I came back to consciousness. I saw myself from a distance laying in the bed, the hospital bed, and then while watching that, I see Jesus come into my room. At this point, I'm not a Christian. I never believed in Jesus. I was always spiritual. I prayed to God, but not Jesus. And up to this point, I called myself a Buddhist. And Jesus came to my bedside, put his hand on my heart, and told me to get up. So I sat up. It took a couple months, but I realized that I told my wife later, and I said, hey, Jesus has a scent, like he's wearing some kind of, not cologne, but some kind of something, I don't know. I couldn't identify it, never smelled it before. So she ordered some frankincense from the internet, since the Bible talks many times of him wearing frankincense. When I smelled that, I started crying because that is the scent. And after I set up, Jesus just, he left. And I fell back to sleep. And it just felt like I was sleeping. When I wake up, a couple weeks later, I'm in southern Indiana in a rehab hospital. I'm not able to sit up. I'm not able to stand. I couldn't speak well. My wife can tell you I couldn't open my eyes for the first 2 weeks. I was pretty feeble. And half of my skull was missing. So the therapist at this rehab hospital told me later on, when they first saw me, they didn't have any hope for me. But I exceeded all expectations. Every time it was time for therapy, I would go do the therapy with enthusiasm, do it completely, and push for some more speech therapy and the physical therapy, all of it. Now, as we're filming here, I have neuropathy on the entire left side of my body, and I'm unable, partially paralyzed. I'm unable to use my left hand and my left foot. But I am able to stand. It's painful, it takes a lot of effort, but it's doable. So I'm in a much better place. And I'll tell you, it's all mental attitude. If you have the right attitude and put some effort into it, you can do whatever you believe. I'm living proof of that. All the experts told me just to stay in bed. They never expected me to stand up. These days, my brain surgeon tells me that I'm a miracle.
Well, it went back and forth from just like brass tacks of getting the situation under control. Like I just had to zone out and look at the situation and do what had to be done each step of the way. Like,
which she did.
I had to make the decision
like
to call
she was
the
trained
ambulance.
to do. She's not, by the way, but she did it as if she were.
He fought me all the way on calling the ambulance.
Of course I did. Because I'm a man. I don't need help.
So I had to make that decision, and then when the surgeon came to me, I had to make the decision about that surgery. And like I knew logically, cerebrally, that what the ramifications were. Like I knew if they were doing that, what that meant, but I didn't, I could see all the way through that he was going to be okay. So I was like, yeah, do it. Because I knew he was going to come through. I didn't doubt. I didn't have a moment of doubt. The only time it hit me, I got scared, obviously I was scared all the way through, but one time when it was really really hit me was when they were trying to take out the breathing tube after he was coming out of anesthesia. This was probably 3 days after the surgery. And, it took a couple days of trying to do that before he breathed again. And there was like a moment of, he might not start breathing again. But then he did. And but then there's been, times after you have time to turn around and look at what's going on and just be like, what what? Because where did that come from? And what did I do to deserve that? And what are we going to do now with everything in our entire life that we have going on, that we have to rethink and resituate? And
I've thought about it many times. Like, if Jesus came and told me to get up, why didn't he just heal me? Why did he make me all better again? But it's easy to be a good man when you're healthy. It's hard to be a good man when you're not. So this is a test, and I'm learning to be a better man. And I'm learning to appreciate my wife more.
And I'm going to write that in my diary, and I'm going to show it to him every time he gets grumpy with me now. So before he ever had his stroke, a mom at the studio told me how she had a little boy who had a stroke. Well, he had a couple strokes. One before he was born and one just after. So he was like 5 years old and he hadn't spoken yet, and he still had some paralysis on one side of his body. And she told me all about how she had taken him through neurofeedback, where they hook you up to electrodes and do a scan of your brain and then send you home with the equipment and you do these treatments with it. And it had really good results for him, and he had started talking and stuff. So after this happened to Mark, we looked into that and we did a round of that. So when you do that, it's a retraining for your brain for the different wavelengths to work appropriately in the appropriate places in your brain at the appropriate times. So it works with, the delta, alpha, theta levels. But you can watch whatever you want while you do it. You're hooked up to a laptop and you can watch whatever you want. And so he kept asking for meditation videos, just whatever meditation related stuff on YouTube, and Silva kept coming up, lots of Silva stuff. So then he was interested in that, then he got the book, and so then we started reading the book together, and then we were gonna do another round. Well, he started saying, I really want to go do a live training of this. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then it came around when we were going to do another session of the neurofeedback. That was our, long-term
So the
plan.
neurofeedback session is 10 weeks long.
Yeah, but
So
then
from the first to the last time I was tested, I had a 70% increase.
yeah, but then we were going to redo that at a 6-month interval. But when that 6-month interval came up, he said that he'd rather go do a Silva training instead of the neurofeedback, because he felt like then it's, maybe I'm putting words in your mouth here, but
It's okay. We've been married long enough. It's fine.
then it's yours. You take it with you, and you don't have to have any equipment, and you can do it forever.
Today, Mark leads a vibrant and fulfilling life, thanks to the power of the mind and the Silva Method. The Silva Method offers a transformative path to healing and self-discovery. Imagine what it can do for you.
I'm sitting in a wheelchair all day, so I'm in pain all day long. When I'm conscious, I'm in pain. And I've learned to now meditate. I can visualize the pain as like a bright light, and then visualize myself turning that light off, and the pain fades away. It really does. anytime it tries to come back, I just turn it off again. Plus, you can use it to sleep better, which I have. And over the past couple days, I've learned to appreciate my wife more. She irritates me less now than she did when I got here, which is definitely a plus. And she's a beautiful woman, but you know, she's like a little chihuahua sometimes, just bark, 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 bark. So it gets on you, but now I'm better equipped to deal with it, so it's good.
Well, you know, I have more things in my life to deal with than him, in addition to him, and have been wanting to be
Yeah, she's a successful businesswoman. She runs a really good business.
Just want a better way to see my way from point A to point B with more confidence that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm doing the right thing for the people around me that need me to be making these decisions. I'm making decisions that they will all benefit from, and with more clarity and more confidence and more connection to that feeling of knowing that's where I'm supposed to be.
Definitely, if you have the opportunity to take a Silva class, it's well worth it. I can see why people might be hesitant to do it, but it is very much worth it.
Come with an open mind, because you have no idea what you're going to find out about yourself.
That's true. If you come in thinking you know what's happening, you're wrong.
It's an investment in time that will make so much more time. And it is a multiplier of you as a resource.
That's right. Anything you can do to improve yourself mentally and physically is worth the investment. And the other thing is that this will equip you to be able to have better relationships, I think, with others.